long discussion now. So nowadays that you see that a lot of kids are getting in trouble, man. It's especially the guys, the boys, are getting in a lot of trouble these days, and it seems like every problem that these kids have lead to the lack of fatherhood. So like, what do you think? I mean, you come seeing some of the things that are happening. Like, kids don't have fathers in their lives, and it just screw them up.
It's kind of like a ripple effect.
Yeah.
Kids have bad parents, grow up to be bad parents. Their kids, it's like a ripple effect. People normally like to have someone to look up to.
Yeah.
Not just the male child, but also the female child,
Right.
all looking up to someone. I like Trevor Noah. I could say he's somewhat of a mentor.
Yeah.
I see some similarities after reading his book, Born a Crime. So that's me looking up to him, right? Now imagine in a biological sense where there's more of a bond,
Right.
and that father figure or that mentor figure is absent. Or what sometimes even being absent is better than having a bad one present, because then you learn bad stuff.
Yeah.
So it's like a combination of what you have to look up to or what you don't have to look up to, and how you respond to it. Because in the same house with the same kind of father or the same absence of a father figure, one child will grow up and say, okay, because of this is how I don't want to be.
Right.
And another child will grow up and even be worse or the same as the bad example or the lack of example that they see.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, we've seen that in the U.S. I mean, there are so many kids that don't have a dad in the home, and it kind of has a long-term effect on them. And we've seen so many kids get into trouble because they don't have a father to look up to. Mom is here working maybe 2 jobs; she's not in the home. Mom is being a dad and a mom at the same time, which for a male child, it's not. I mean, she can be a father. She cannot be a father. So that kid's kind of like, he's looking out there for somebody to be a father. Now he goes to the street trying to find guys who are pretending that they're men who are just messed up too. So it's just messing up everyone these days. What do you think, man? So,
well, I'll tell you this, right? I was raised in a single family home, right? My mom and my dad split up when I was just 1 year old, and my little sister, she was only like 3 or 4 months. So it definitely took a toll on how we were brought up. You mentioned that there are women who work 2-3 jobs. That was my mom, trying to support us. And then not only that, but also, getting assistance from the government. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And then and stuff like that. So we went through, the whole fucking food the SNAPs or the what was it, the food assistance?
It's called I think, is it SNAP?
Yeah. So yeah, it's not. Fucking welfare.
Yeah.
With the Geisinger, medical insurance, dental, the whole works. You know what I'm saying? That was us. We were like very low income. But with that being said, right, my mom did her absolute best to raise my sister and I. My father was there too. He was there financially, giving my mom, the child support, but according to my mom, it wasn't enough to support 2 kids. So that's when my mom had to, work almost all the time to try to provide for us. And because sometimes, my mom couldn't raise me the way a man would, right? I would look for that father figure out of the streets, or I would try to see, or I would, have my uncles, from her side talk to me and stuff like that. But obviously, when I wasn't around family, right, it was just my sister, my mom, and I would look for that out on the streets, I have friends that may have fathers that may, give me some advice. Sometimes it wasn't the best advice, right? But again, you work with what you can get, and then sometimes you apply those advice, and if it doesn't work, then you adapt and overcome, and you improvise. So yeah, I mean, but now I'm starting to see though, since then, now there are men that are coming like that are my age, your age, right? Even what's it? How old are you?
29.
29. So fuck. So,
I know I look younger.
so yeah, so men our age are already stepping up, and staying and knowing that and sticking together with their family and working things together. I don't know what the divorce rate of the United States is now. Apparently, it's higher than before.
It's high, man.
The whole world.
Yeah. So I mean, like, you guys gonna touch on it, man. It's like it's like we find ourselves in a situation where kids these days, right? I mean, it's like what I'm trying to ask is that, are guys to blame, or it's like the ladies to blame? It seems like
It's
everybody's.
no one. Honestly, I'm gonna say this. There's no one. I can't say that it's neither the woman or the man.
Okay.
But you know what? You know what it is? It's just the influence.
Right.
The shit that we see in TV and the celebrities that we see on TV. You have the music.
Yeah.
That's what I mean about influence, right? And then you also have the fucking government also getting into our business, saying you have politicians telling minorities that they're oppressed, or sometimes even saying, like for example, like some celebrities are saying, oh well, women don't need men. The fuck do you mean women don't need men? I mean, yeah, if you're a lesbian, by all means, yeah, you probably don't need a man, right? But for a straight woman, it's good to have a man in your life, to have that support right there, because way like back, like in the old times, the man was the provider and the protector of the home, right? And then the woman will be the nurturer, would stay at home with the kids and nurture. But nowadays it's tough. It's hard as hell, because now you have two parents that fucking work all the time, right? And we don't spend time with we barely spend time with our kids,
Right.
and now our kids are being raised by fucking TV, by TV, tablets, phones, and then they also sometimes see some of this stuff that just slips through the cracks, right? Because we do our best to put all these parental controls so that way our kids don't see the hard stuff that goes on in the world. But sometimes those little things just slips through the cracks, and then they will eventually see it.
Yeah.
Nothing is foolproof.
Yeah. So Sula, I mean, you obviously you are from Nigeria, right?
Yeah.
So coming to the U.S., right? And I'm sure you've heard some of the things about so much lack of fatherhood in the lives of so many kids here in the U.S. Like, when you first came and heard those things and kind of seen some of the impact on some of maybe you hang out with some guys that you're in college with, who are kind of maybe tell you some of their situation, or you've seen the way they behave and some of the things going on. Like, what are some of the things that ran through your mind, saying, "Oh, holy shit, man, this thing is
It was like
stuck here."
It was like a major culture shock for me.
Okay.
Coming here, seeing a lot of kids without parents, a lot of single mothers working 2 jobs, raising their kids. The fathers are nowhere to be found. Some of them are in jail. Some of them are not even in jail. They are in Vegas, and living large.
Right.
Some don't even care about their kids. For one, I can't imagine having a kid and the kid is alive, breathing oxygen, and I don't want to know. It was a culture shock for me. I asked about it, did some research, found that it's not something that just started. It started a long time ago with mostly the black population. The fathers maybe having to work extra, and maybe I'm not trying not to go political with my analysis, and maybe due to working extra, finding some other source of comfort, maybe in drugs and stuff, and then getting hooked on this and having to go to jail, and then the child is left alone with the mother. Basically, there's a man and woman for a reason, right?
Right.
Even if your mother is Wonder Woman, Superwoman, there's still so much you can do
Right.
as a guy, and you see other guys who have fathers out there, and you see other men that impress you and make you want to inspire you to be somebody.
Right.
You look for a male figure, right?
Right.
Now, when you don't know how to sieve what you're getting from that figure, you can take everything, both the good and the bad, and then this shapes your character to a point where you're so old and it's hard to change, and then you become that type of parent. Now, you're not even the absent parent. You're now the present parent, or a bad example. So it's like a cycle. And then I also met females who, you know, they treat the guys around them shitty, and then while they're young,
Right.
you know, and then it's time, they feel, okay, it's an age to get married or have someone significant. And now, okay, the guys that they treated that way now want younger females, so they're not even looking at them anymore because now they're older. And what do they settle for? Oh, I just want to have a kid and be happy.
Right.
And they just look for someone who gives them a kid. They don't even care if it's a complete home or if he's there to like be in the child's life. And that's it. They start their journey as a single mom. They feel it's an achievement. You know, it's not every female, just a very small select few I've seen. So all these I'm sure there's other things I've not seen, other reasons, but all this, if you put everything together, it's like a chain of events,
Right.
just revolving around each other.
Yeah. I mean, I think there are statistics out there that says that the fatherless rape in the U.S. is like it's extremely high. You know, and for if I'm correct, you know, somebody can correct us in the comment section. I think it's for the African American, I think it's 72%. Fatherless rate. Correct us if you're wrong. And for the whites, I think it's between 20 and 30%, roughly. So it's a freaking huge problem.
I know it's higher. I'll say this. I know it's higher in minorities than it is with white people.
Right.
So it's like okay, well, what are they doing different than we are? You know what I'm saying? Like first of all, we're all from the same race, right? The human race.
Right.
So well, I mean, yeah, we all come from different cultures and backgrounds. But well, what's up, man? Were you?
I have some statistics.
Oh, okay. Yeah, obviously we got some statistics here. Extent of fatherlessness, National Center for Fathering. Let's see, holy moly. So this one goes from like 1960 to 2000. So
Zoom in.
Okay, so
Having some technical difficulties.
yeah. But anyways, from 1960, it was like I think for the African American was roughly there you go, thank you, man. For African American, the 60s was 19.9%, and for the white it was 6.1%.
Yeah.
Now the latest data goes up to 2000, which is 18.3% for whites. For Hispanic, it's 26%. For African American, it's 45%. That's like the latest data was 2010. So can you imagine, man? It's 40% of the population is fatherless.
So
that's freaking,
And it's worse today.
man.
It's
So-
worse.
So imagine this is only like 12 years ago.
That was every second.
That's why I'm asking what different are what are we doing differently that we can't be like the men cannot be with their kids. What's going on with the minority population, black and Hispanic, that we somehow the men just decide to just pick up and leave, but then you have these white men who are still staying with their families more often than the minority counterparts.
I don't think it is what we're doing now. I think it's what was already done in the past, and it got most of the black population in this situation. So is what can we do now to change it? Because it is already like this. What can we do now to change it? Social media keeps making some things worse,
Yeah.
but at the same time, it's the same tool that can make some things better. You know, I feel it's going to be part of the solution. I'm sure we're not gotten to the solution yet. So
We haven't.
I'll stop there for now.
But it's just kind of